Oh,
Okay. So we're going through Dorian, and so you can see that the first and fifth note of Ionian and Dorian are in the same relative spot. So that's still a 5, right? The 3 was flatted because in Ionian it's here, and this is where the 3 is supposed to be, but that note is there, so that makes it a flat 3, right? So now the root and the 6th note are in the same distance apart, right? So that's still just a 6. Now, the root and the 7, right, for Ionian, you notice it's the root's here, 7's here. Look what happened to the 7 here. So the 7 went from being here to being here.
it got flat.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So that is a flat 7, right? So now this is a good place to kind of explain why this is a major scale, like why Ionian is a major scale and why Dorian is a minor scale, right? And the difference is in the third, right? The third is the single determining factor of whether or not something is major or minor. All right. So when you see a 3, that equals major, and then flat 3 is minor.
Is there a particular reason, or is that's just it?
That's just
those are the rules.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This is not so much music theory as it is just music fact, right? Music theory is more or less, talking about like how you can put together certain chord progressions and why they work, and how you can kind of weave in and out of them. This is more like, this is what this is. This is just another way of kind of thinking about this stuff, like not, that way it's just not, you're not memorizing a shape, and this is so okay. Scales are chords, right? Chords are scales, right? They're very closely intertwined, right?
Interchangeable?
No. I mean, it's like
interconnected.
The scale represents all possibilities within a chord, a single chord, right? So now, like, say for example, I play like a C major chord, right? Now we're only playing 3 notes here. We're playing a C, an E, and a G, right? Right. But when we're thinking about this in scale degrees, right, the C major chord is the first note, the third note, and the 5th note of the scale, right? So listen, so if I play just the first note, third note, and 5th note of Ionian, first, third, and 5th note. Yep. Right. That's a C major chord. Listen.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
So chords are combinations of very specific intervals, in the scale, right?
Yeah.
So this also tells you, okay, if since we're in this key, Ionian's located here, right? C, our C chord is going to be major, right? Because our major scale is located on C, or one of our major scales is located on C, right? But it's only playing the first, third, and 5th note. That also means that if you wanted to add a 2 in that chord, like a D, right, then you could add that note. Right? I'm just adding that note.
Oh.
It's still, well, no, you're a fret note, right? This part you still fret with the first and middle finger.
Am I right?
Or you can set it up like that. That's fine.
And you want me to put my...
Yeah. Yep. So this is a C add 2 chord.
Oh, you want to play the open note to the open note?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a C major chord, but this note went from being on B to being on D.
So this is the third note?
That note's not even in there anymore.
No. This note is.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
So that is a D, which is the 2, right? So that makes it an add 2 chord, right? So now, basically, this lays out all possibilities that you can, notes that you can use in your chords, as well as, which scale goes with those chords, right? But the single determining factor of whether or not something is major or minor is the third, right? So if it's got a third, it's major. If it's got a flat third, it's minor, right? So now let's look at Phrygian, right? If you notice, the first 2 notes are very different than the last 2 modes, right? They're like right next to each other. So the other 2, they were right here, which was a 2. So that makes this a
minor.
So this is root 2, root 2, root.
Oh yeah, 2. I was looking at the third note. Yeah, so the third note's a determining factor.
Yeah, so
that's a major scale.
So no.
Minor. Phrygian's a minor scale.
I'm trying to. You're correct, but I'm trying to figure out what interval that is.
Second.
Right, but it's not a second because that's a second. That's a root, and that's a second. Second is supposed to be there. Yeah. So what's that?
A flat second.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were asking me if it's a minor or major scale. I thought you were asking me that.
Yeah. And you are correct.
Yeah.
That is a flat third right there.
Yeah.
Because the third would be there. Now, you have to remember that everything is relative from wherever the root note is, right? It's not relative from this note, because then if we look at those 2 notes, then it's like, okay, well, it's totally different than that or that, right?
Yeah.
So it's relative from wherever this note is. So the third is supposed to be here. That makes this the flat third, right? So we got flat 3. 4 is still in the same exact spot, right? Right. So that's a 4. The 5 is still in the same exact spot, right? So that's just a 5. Now the 6 is supposed to be here, but that means that this is a
flat 6.
Exactly. Exactly. So we got a flat 6. And then the 7 is actually in the same spot that it was for this mode right here.
It's a regular 7.
Flat 7.
Oh, flat 7. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, so now when this note is here, that's a 7. But when that note is here, that's a flat 7, right? So
because that one has it over there, see?
Yeah, exactly. So that makes this a minor scale as well, right? So now Lydian, okay. So there's really only one difference between Ionian and Lydian. Can you spot it?
Between, you said that Lydian and Ionian?
Yeah, there's only one note difference, right? If you look at the first 7 notes, there's only one note that's displaced from Ionian.
Okay, so this is right here. Boom, boom. Is it boom, boom? This one right here.
Just look at the first 7 notes.
Oh, the first 7 notes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
So, first question. Are the root and the 2 in the same spot?
Yeah.
Okay. Are the 2 and the 3? Or is the 3 in the same spot?
Yeah.
What about the 4?
No.
What happened to it?
The 4, it got sharp.
Yeah, exactly. Okay,
yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So now, if you notice though, we don't have any sharp or flatted voicings in here. So there's some alternate versions, right? So the flat 3 can also be a sharp 2. The flat 5 can also be a sharp 4. And the flat 6 can also be a sharp 5.
Oh, so that's the way it is. There's no reason why. That's the way it is. It is what it is.
Yeah. So now the thing is there has to be a first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh note, right, for each scale. So this is root, this is a 2, this is a 3, this is a sharp 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So that's the only difference between these 2 modes is that sharp 4. So we got root 2, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, 7. So, same thing with Mixolydian. There is actually only one difference between Ionian and Mixolydian.
Yeah, it has six regular notes and one is, I think, sharp, isn't it?
Are you sure?
Let me see. Or I know there's only one note. Six notes are regular. 6 notes are regular notes, and one note is either sharp or flat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. Okay. It says G, A, B, C, D, E, F.
Count it. Use your numbers.
Huh?
Use your numbers.
Oh no, not the note names. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So we got root 2, 3.
We got root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The last note.
Okay. What happened to it?
And flatten.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we got root 2, 3,
That's the last
4,
note.
5, 6, flat 7.
Mm.
Right. So now
I kind of cheated on that one because I knew already. Because I have seen, and when I've seen books before, and okay, the next note is
yeah. So it's like that one note just got got flattened, right?
Yeah.
So now that's an interesting thing. This is actually the only scale that does this, right? It's got a major third, but it's got a flat 7 in it, right? All of our other major scales, actually, these are our only 3 major scales: the Ionian, Lydian, and Mixolydian, right? That it's usually a major third with a natural 7, major third with a natural 7. This is the only one with a major third but a flat 7, right? Mm-hmm. So that actually makes Mixolydian is defined as dominant.
Dominant, as the
not necessarily like dominating,
literally,
like the dominant.
I'm one person that takes everything super literal, like it's super
most music can be taken pretty literally. You know, like whenever they say like what a hammer on is, it's like you're literally hammering your finger like onto the string, right? Or pulling out. You know, like there's some very literal things in music, and then there's some stuff like this where it's just like it's just a way of differentiating this scale from the other ones, right?
Yeah.
It's still technically a major scale, but it's got a flat 7th in there, so it makes it dominant, right? And so what that means is 3 plus flat 7 equals dominant.
Oh.
Right. It's just a way of defining it and categorizing, what it is and what it means, right? So dominant means that there's a 3 and a flat 7 in the scale, and it's the only scale out of all of these that has that. So you want to tell me what Aeolian is?
It's a minor scale.
It is.
Yeah.
So in order, so we got root and then
like regular second. What do you call it? Second, or just call it second?
Yeah.
Second. When I see with no symbols, I'll just call it regular.
Yeah.
Should I just call it 2 or don't call it?
Well, so
don't say regular.
You have so this is sharp, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this is flat, right?
Flat. Mm-hmm.
And you never see this, right? Right, but this is.
What symbol is that?
Natural.
Oh, natural. Yeah, right. I've heard of that.
So really, natural is usually implied, right? So meaning that if there's nothing next to it, it's natural.
Okay,
right?
I'm about to say natural.
Yeah. So it's basically it's either gonna have a sharp or a flat in front of it, and then if it has nothing, it's natural.
Oh.
But like in standard notation, whenever they're like writing out music. They use this symbol because sometimes they'll be in some sort of like sharped or flatted key, and they'll throw in an accidental natural note in there. So like it'll at some point it'll get across the staff and you'll see a note and it'll have that symbol. And meaning that, you know, normally the key that you're playing in, that note's supposed to be sharped or flatted, but they're basically making it natural just for that one note at that, like right there, right?
To avoid confusion.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'll never use that, you know, but it is helpful to kind of know, right? And those are kind of the three categories. You either got sharp, flat, or natural.
Oh, okay.
Right. So it's so we have like a root, natural two,
and then there's a flat third.
And then.
And then a flat third, and then then we have a flat 4.
Are you sure?
Let me see. Oh no, regular 4.
Yeah.
Natural 4. Natural 5, and then flat 6.
One more.
Oh, and then this is another flat 7.
Yep. Exactly. So Aeolian is root 2, flat 3. 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, and that makes that a minor scale.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, now we got diminished. This was the brain buster.
Yeah, the Locrian.
Yeah,
the one that nobody ever uses.
If you're on Oswald.
Yeah. Oh man, he does some awesome stuff. Yeah. Man, he's got some interesting ways to approach.
Or Frank Gambale, wasn't it?
Gambale.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So what about Locrian?
That's the root. On root, we never say natural. We just say root.
Yeah.
Root.
And the root can't be sharp or flatted.
Okay. So root, flat second. Natural third. Huh? No. Oh no. Oh, yeah. I was looking at the. So that's a flat third on that one.
So we got root, flat 2, flat 3.
Yeah, flat 3. And then natural 4.
Normally it's supposed to be
the minus symbol, which is flat, fifth.
Yes.
Flat fifth. And then is a flat 6. Yeah, flat 6, and then the 7th. Let's see. Oh, it's also flat.
Yeah.
Nobody uses it.
Yeah. It's so Locrian is what we call a diminished scale. So it's root, flat 2, flat 3, 4, flat 5, flat 6, flat 7. Now, okay. Here's a question. What is something that Locrian has that none of the other scales have?
It has more. It has.
There's.
It has no sharp notes.
Yes, that is. But really, Lydian is the only one that has a sharp interval in it. So I'm looking for another interval that is the same in every other scale except for Locrian.
Well, what sets it apart?
Yeah. Oh. There's one number in there that none of the other scales have.
I think I already know. Oh no! Okay, no. Okay, hold on. Okay, I think I found it. Yeah, it's the 5th.
Yeah, exactly. So the flat 5 is, okay, so and that's the only time the 5th has any power, right? Is whenever it's flatted, right? So whenever you hear diminished, right? You automatically assume there's a flat 5 in there. So yeah, and that's the only time the 5th has any power. right? So when you hear major, that means it's got a third in it. When you hear minor, it's got a flat third. Dominant is a major third plus a flat seventh, right? Because every other scale has a natural seventh in it, right? And then the only time the fifth has any power is when you hear diminished, right? Otherwise, the fifth is the same exact interval in every single other scale, right? Except for that one. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and diminished is, I mean, the reason why people don't really use diminished too much is because, I mean, or especially for most contemporary music, is it sounds like this.
Fates Warning.
Say what?
Fates Warning uses it.
Oh yeah. I mean, when I say that's not necessarily contemporary.
Yeah, that's progressive metal.
Yeah. So like, with like, the prog metal and stuff like that, like they're gonna use that stuff.
Yeah.
But most of the time though, and it's just usually like special occasions and things like that, or if they're using some sort of diminished chord. About the only time that like diminished, I mean that the most popular example that I can think of for a diminished chord would be in like Hotel California.
Oh.
Yeah, they use a diminished chord in that one. And it actually sounds kind of pretty in that song, which is crazy how, they make this chord sound like, almost nice, or it works really well melodically in that chord structure. So yeah. So now this is just kind of, just memorization, and getting used to, the relative spacing of notes.
So what we're doing, is this considered interval training?
Yeah.
Yeah, what we're doing is interval training because it's space between the notes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the main idea here is you have a single point. And as you place notes around this point, right, the relative distance determines, whether or not it's a major, minor, a 7, a 2, or whatever, whatever chord you can think of out of the thousands of, combinations and possibilities that you can make out of chords. This is just kind of, this is going to build on a lot of things. It's going to help us understand like why chords are the way they are, like how to build chords, understand chords, right? Without having to memorize like literally like thousands of chords, right? Like that is a total, farce, and I would never suggest anybody memorize chords, or that many chords, right? Especially when it's like you have just only like maybe a few dozen categories of chords, major, minor. You got your add chords, you got your 7 chords, and then if you're getting really crazy with the jazz,
suspended,
like your add 2s or your sus 2s or add 4s, sus 4s, right? Or even like your 9, 11, and 13 chords, right?
Theater.
A lot of jazzy, like cats, using stuff like that. And so it's just. This is going to help you understand chords and figure out basically any chord ever, right? But it's really just understanding, the relationship of distance from one note to the next note.
Yeah.
So and so the way that chords are made out of these, right? You can see I took the first note, third note, and fifth note of that scale, right? And instead of playing it, 2 notes on one string and here, or I could go. Right, I can move that note here, and tap it out.
As long as it's that specific note, is what it.
So now, the way that I kind of try to differentiate, from one thing to the next is I kind of define this as like our lead forms, right? So, right, because it's like on a single string, and so normally you'd be like, or, right. So, and then you have your rhythm forms where you're playing multiple notes at the same time.
Okay.
Now, granted, you can play chords in your solos and you can play single notes for your rhythms, right? But I still think of it as like lead forms versus rhythm forms, So it's like chords are rhythm forms, single note scale stuff is kind of lead forms.
Solos, yeah.
Chords are scales and scales are chords, right? And so it's like you could take these notes and instead of going, right, you can spread it out and on multiple strings and make a chord out of it and play them all at the same time, and they'll sound good together too. You know, so, but chords are, you know, basically, you know, picking out very specific parts of the scale, right? And so, yeah, and then each interval has a certain way that it's defined, right? And so it's like, yeah, when you hear diminished, you know, that automatically assume there's a flat 5 in there, right? And because that's exactly what it means. That's the only time the fifth has any power is when someone says it's diminished. So it's like, okay, flat 5, right? Dominant, you know, is a weird combination of a major third and a flat 7, which kind of sound like, okay, to kind of give you an example, we have let's say a major 7, right? So this is a root, this is a 3, that's a 7, right? Or if I put it on C, right? So now, if I flat the 3rd and I flat the 7th, now, and my root is still in the same spot, right? So it's still a C, but now it's a C minor 7. So we got major 7.
Happy.
Minor 7.
Sad.
Right? And then we have dominant 7, right? So this is a flat third. It needs to be a major third, but with a flat 7. So now you get this tone. You know, so like you hear a lot of stuff like in blues, like. Those are dominant chords, by the way. And there was one minor, but so it's you got a few different categories of chords, certain things that, you know, specifically determine, you know, certain things about the chord, you know.
So when I go home today to apply these concepts, just do all this, what we're doing, and on this, so that way I can start getting the knowledge of the notes, and is that?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Now, okay. So here's the cool thing about this, right? This never changes, right? Never changes. Ionian is always going to be root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Yeah. So even if I play it here, it's still root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? It never, so that'll always be that, right? Which is crazy because, okay, if you think about it, if I move this C Ionian scale, we're playing what? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, right? But if I move down here, it's G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. Right? Yeah. So now the notes have changed, right? But it is still root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So I honestly think that in some way this is more important to understand and memorize than the actual notes on the fretboard. You know, because, you know, this is,
you mean the pattern?
Yeah. This describes a shape, and this describes a shape that never changes, right? So this shape right here will always be Ionian, no matter where you place it, right?
Yeah, even if I start here.
Yeah, right. And even if you start it there and you go. Right, and you start to notice there's actually a relationship between the scales too, right? Because basically you started on C in Dorian, right? So here's, okay, hopefully this doesn't like
kind of warm blood.
So all of these scales are all found in here and here and here, right? So okay. So hopefully this doesn't get too confusing, right? Just remember, this is always going to be Ionian. It's just, this is the way that we just label it, right? But
it could be F Ionian.
Right. Yeah. Right. But okay, I'm keeping it in C.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Now, if I start on D while I'm in the Ionian position, right, then it's Dorian.
Yeah, because that's the root note.
Right. But yeah, because that's the note that I'm starting. That's the note that I'm calling the root note, right?
Yeah.
But I'm still playing in the Ionian position. But since I'm starting on D, it's Dorian.
Yeah.
Right?
It shifts.
Because of this right
Yeah.
here.
That 7
Right.
note.
No. So I'm not doing this, right?
Yeah.
I'm staying in Ionian,
Yeah.
right? But I'm gonna stay in here. But instead of starting on C, I'm starting on D. So I'm calling that my root note. Now it's technically Dorian.
Correct. Yeah. But it also gives it a different sound.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be the same thing if I go versus same exact thing, right? So, not to get too confusing, right? But what really makes Ionian is that right there,
Yeah, third.
right? No. I'm sorry. This.
Oh, the whole 7.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah. What makes Dorian is that, right? But when we're trying to memorize this stuff and get it down, it just memorize that shape, right? But what really Dorian is this, right?
Yeah.
Dorian can be, I can put Dorian here. Or wait. Did you hear that? Yeah, same exact thing. I'm going to play Dorian here, but technically I'm in the Aeolian position, right? Starting on D right here,
Yeah.
right? So now, okay, you play up Aeolian starting there, and I'm going to play Dorian.
So you want to play what?
Play up Aeolian starting from there, and I'm going to play Dorian.
Ionian? Ionian or
No,
Aeolian?
Aeolian. You're in Aeolian right now.
Oh. Am I right?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds wrong.
No, you're supposed to be on that note right there.
Oh.
Right now you're right there. You should be there. You're right there right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're good. Right. So start again. Start on D. Start on D.
Oh. Oh, did I get it wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just played Dorian, but you also played Dorian in the Aeolian position, right? Because you're starting on D.
Yeah.
Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I just started in a different note, but the same pattern.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So now, there's a couple of ways to, not to get this too confusing, but just memorize this shape as Ionian, but also understand that, if you start on that note, it's Ionian. If you start on that note, it's Dorian. If you start on that note, it's Phrygian.
And it ends a little bit more over here.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, it was just still in there, right?
Oh, still in there? Okay.
I'm keeping it all in the same position.
Oh,
right?
okay,
Yeah, so it's just about what note you start on, right? So we have 7 notes, right? 7 modes, right? And we're only playing 7 notes the whole time, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, right? So it's like same 7 notes, but it's like you're starting on C, starting on, a D, E, but that also means that if you start on that E in Dorian, technically you're playing Phrygian, right? But you're keeping it in this position instead of that position. But it's just memorization, understanding, the relative spacing from note to note. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the video going too.